Now, find y double prime implicitly. What does that mean to do? Find the second derivative. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. To find the second derivative, you have to find the first derivative. So find dy, and y prime is just dy, or y prime would be dy dx. So find dy dx for me on your own. You have a question, Tamar? Basically, if I've solved for y for you, you can just use the old way. If y has not been solved for, chances are the problem's not going to be any easier to solve for y, so just jump in and start taking the derivative. When you introduce, okay, the question was, will it tell you if you have to simplify? If you introduce a third variable that you're taking the derivative with respect to, you don't need to simplify. But if you're not introducing that third variable, you should always solve for dy dx. Okay, the second derivative is d squared y over dx squared. But hold on just a minute. Okay, everyone okay with dy dx equaling negative x over y? Okay. Do you want to, so we're going to have to take the derivative again. Do you want to use the quotient rule, or do you want to rewrite it as a product? Okay, I heard quotient first. That's what we're going to do. It does not matter. All right, so the second derivative is written as d squared y over dx squared. The derivative of the top is negative 1 times the bottom minus, the top is a negative x, so that's going to be plus x times the derivative of the bottom, all over what? Y squared. Now, when you take a second derivative, you can't have the first derivative in your answer. But what does dy dx equal? Negative x over y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the negative x over y in for my dy dx. So I have negative y plus x times negative x over y, all over y squared. Okay, I'm going to continue to simplify this a little bit because I think it's really cool. On the top, I could write that as minus x squared over y. And then it's all divided by y squared. Okay. If you have so now I'm going to think about dividing everything by y squared. So if I have negative y over y squared, what does that reduce to? Okay, I could either do negative y to the negative 1 or negative 1 over y, either way. And then minus x squared times what? Y to the negative 3, yeah. X squared over y, and then divided by y squared, same thing as x squared over y times 1 over y squared. So x squared over y cubed, or x squared times y to the negative 3. All right, I've got a common factor here. You always factor out the smallest exponent. Well, what is the smallest exponent? Right, y to the negative 3. And I'm going to pull out a negative y to the negative 3, since both terms are negative. So what am I left with inside the parentheses? Y squared plus x squared. You want to take y to the negative 1 and divide it by y to the negative 3. So since you're dividing like terms, you subtract the exponents. 1 minus a negative 3 would be plus 2. All right, now look at this. Look at your original problem. What did x squared plus y squared equal? So this is negative 25y to the negative 3. that weird the way that that simplifies so much? Probably on your test, you're going to have one multiple choice question that's going to simplify that far. But if it's not multiple choice, yeah. Well, I mean, you won't have, it'll be obvious that you need to simplify it. Megan? Right here? And then to get to here? Okay. Here to here? Okay. I took negative y over y squared and then minus x squared y. Oh, I divided both of the numerator parts by y squared. So you can subtract your exponents here. Here, this part is same as negative x squared over y times 1 over y squared. So you've got a y cubed in the bottom, which you can bring up to the top. Brian? Yes, that is the circle with a radius of 5. That original equation.